We're going to start by having a practical example. I thought we're going to make a podcast here in class, so I can make it, but I want to know, is there anyone who's volunteering to if I can make an interview, just like 1 or 2 sentences, and it's something I make up, and this will, I will put it on the website now, but then we can take it away. So it's, I see anyone. It doesn't matter what you say. We'll just make up something. Okay, very good. What was your? You can sit there, Ron. I can come to you. What's your company about? Okay, financial consulting company. Very good. Because when you make a podcast, all you actually have to do is record and publish it somewhere. You have all, I assume, you have phones, don't you? And you will be set up in pairs, and I'm thinking that you probably have a smartphone. If someone doesn't have one, then maybe you get a pair who has a smartphone or some kind of recording device. And if not, then you have to borrow from other people. But I'll show you one way. There are many ways of recording your voice, because what you need to do is to record your voices and to store it digitally somewhere, to make it into an MP3 file or some other digital file that you can use. Do you feel uncomfortable, afraid about making podcast? Yeah, a bit. You look a bit afraid. But that's the point, because once you have done it, I have had, normally you hear these podcasts, they have an intro, they have a jingle, they have, can you try not to speak, please? They have background music, and they have so-called stingers. If you listen to a podcast or a radio program, it's one way of marking that you are changing the subject a little bit. Normally, if it's a podcast and if they run out of things to say and they want to change topics, they put some some music in between. Ideally, I want you to make very good podcasts, to make like high quality, very well edited, and so on. You will get style points. That's what I will consider. I'm not going to be too hard, but obviously the better podcast you make, the more advanced it is, the better it is. But I will accept that you make a simple one with only recording of your speech. Because I understand it's to see who's ambitious and who's not. It's very easy to find editing programs on the internet, and you have to learn them. That's what everybody does. Everybody who learns editing, they learn it by themselves. But for the scope of the course, it's up to you whether you want to put in sound, background music, and so on. And you will be graded. You get a better grade the better your final product is. But it's acceptable if you have only recorded your voices, without music, without intro, without stingers, and so on. So you will need to make a podcast, but quality-wise, also sound quality, I don't judge on sound quality, because I know that you don't have expensive microphones and recording devices or studios, so I cannot expect you to make a very high quality podcast. So what I was going to do is to record something. I have an iPhone, for instance, and I think you have probably on every phone there's some kind of voice recorder. There's one on mine here. I've never used it before, but today I saw it's called Voice Memo. So if I open that one, then I can start recording my own voice to the phone. And that's what we're going to do. And then afterwards, I will email it to myself. It's one of the ways I can get it into the computer. And financial consulting, right? Okay. It's called FINA. And what's your name, please? Peter. Okay, at FINA Consulting. Okay, so we'll make a couple of minutes just to for show, and we'll see that it's not that hard. By the scope of this lecture, I think we will have made and also published a podcast.